Mhm.
All right, welcome, welcome. Good morning, everyone. Let's see, everybody's coming in. Nobody's on camera. Please, if you all are able to come on camera, we will invite you to come hang out. We're going to get started just a couple of minutes early, just so we can do a little bit of networking. So we don't have Melvin with us this morning, so we don't have music, but I figured we could talk to each other. So let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Jarvis. I am the chair for the Training and Professional Development Committee. And like I said, because we have a couple of minutes, we want to give people plenty of time to get into the event with us. We'd love to just go around the room and have you all give each other a shout out. We'd love to hear about you, your business, and what you do in your business. Thimby, if it's okay, since I see you on video, I'd love to come to you first and just give you a chance. Please come off of mute and give us a shout out. Tell us about you, your business, and let us know a little something.
Is it still morning? Yes, it's still morning. My name is Fendi Akil. I am a financial wellness coach, and I work with individuals and business owners to help you change your mindset about your money and your habits and patterns and help you have a healthy financial future.
Right. Awesome. Awesome. Well, welcome, Thimby. Look forward to seeing you on a lot more of these different TPD events, ABC events overall. So welcome. Thank you for that shout out. Barry, I see you are on camera. See it automatically, guys. If you come on camera, I'm gonna give you a chance to shout yourself and your business out. So hopefully that is an incentive.
Yeah, so you're calling on me.
Yes, sir. Please
Very
introduce yourself.
well. Good morning to everybody. My name is Barry Love. I lead a company called Thrive Solutions. We're actually a holding company operating two different brands. The brand that I am promoting these days is a company called Real Time Feedback, and we're in the customer experience business. So we have a very unique technology that really pushes businesses to communicate more effectively with their clients. And I'm jumping on a call, sorry.
No, fantastic, Barry. Thank you. It sounds like this is a very well aligned event for you today. Miss Annette, good morning. Would love to give you a chance to introduce yourself and shout yourself out. Oh, well, and let's see, you're still on mute.
Good morning. I'm Annette Harris. I'm the Senior Partner and Managing Director for Sunrise International. We are a management consulting firm specializing in IT project management and change management services. Our clients are usually pharmaceutical insurance and companies in the healthcare industry. So we go in basically, if a company has any technology installation they want to install or upgrade, we go in and do all the project management around that. And also when there's change management work, typically it's around technology tools. We do all the change management around that, but also we have a change management with a DEI focus, meaning that it's ethnic justice. We'd like to use the word ethnic equity focus because that justice word sometimes throw people off. But there's a lot of corporations right now are really wanting have some targets in place to just prepare their organizations and their companies for the labor force of the future. So we go in with an ethnic equity lens when we do our change management work to ensure that they have a diverse labor force.
All right, fantastic. Thank you for that introduction. It sounds like you all are doing some really big work out there. And that, thank you. It's a pleasure to learn more about you.
You're welcome.
No, absolutely. I'm going to some of the folks that are hiding behind their cover photos. Guys, don't ever miss a good opportunity to come and network and share information about your business. Mr. Jason Walton, would love to give you a chance to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your business.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Jason Walton, as you just mentioned, and I am the world's greatest health and life coach that the world has yet to be revealed. And basically what I do is I help people overcome their fears so that they can walk into the lives that they've been needing to walk into. So many of us want to go from A to B, and we become frustrated because we get stuck from leaving A and never arriving to B. Because of the procrastination, the standstillism, self-sabotaging mindsets, and just a limited belief. There's so many talented people in this world, in our communities, in our neighborhoods, who have the potential, which is a dangerous word, to be great and to do great things. However, they have habits that are not allowing them to live their best lives. So basically what I do is I help transform their habits, identifying those habits that don't serve them and helping them to replace them with more effective habits so that they can go further faster in their quest to get to their B and hopefully on to their C. What I do is primarily for any human being, but my niche area is for young men from the age of 12 to 25, because my philosophy is it's better to build young men than it is to repair broken old ones. And so I use a 5-pronged system that's inclusive.
All right, Jason, I'm gonna have to jump in on you. Sorry, but we do have a show, man. We're going to work on that 60-second elevator pitch.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear. I came on late. And so I don't know, you probably said that and I didn't hear that. I just got on. So please excuse me.
Yeah, no, you're good. I should have been more intentional about that as well. So,
Yeah,
Jason, it sounds like you're doing phenomenal things. And
yes,
I love how you introduce yourself, the best in the world. I love that confidence. And I hope everybody feels that about your businesses, that you are the best in the world, guys. So, Jason, awesome. That was fantastic. Seriously.
thank you.
Let me do one more, and then we're going to jump into our event for today. Miss Ro McLean, can you take a quick minute to introduce yourself, and then we're going to get into our event.
Thank you so much. I'm Rashida McLean with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. I'm a realtor here, not a member yet, but I have been, contemplating on joining, and I received this email, so I'm excited. Thank you for allowing me to be here. And you guys need any services here in the Metro Atlanta area, I'm here to help, and I'm also jumping into the commercial side of the business as well. So I'm excited.
All right, fantastic. Ro, thank you, and we got to work on that. We got to get you to go ahead and invest and become a member of the ABC. So, all right, ABC family, I'm really excited to go ahead and kick off today's virtual event. Like always, we're trying to bring you all experts that are absolutely killing it in their specific areas of expertise. And before I introduce today's speakers, let me highlight that today's virtual event, it is brought to you by our Training and Professional Development Committee here within the Atlanta Black Chamber. So if this is your first time hanging out with us, the TPD is responsible for setting up events that are just guaranteed to help you, help your businesses go to the next level. And we're in a really good rhythm right now of doing both in-person and virtual networking events. So please stay connected. We're going to do our best really just to bring out experts who are going to share insights that, again, are just absolutely going to help move you all forward. So we will be back next month. We do our virtual events every third Thursdays at 11:30. And next month, we'll be highlighting how to leverage networking events to grow your business. So for today, excuse me, for today, our focus is going to be around how to increase your revenue through customer loyalty. Again, we've brought the best of the best to lead us in today's topic. So first, I'd love to introduce Dr. Mary Ritz. So Dr. Ritz is the founder and the owner of Almenta International, where she provides team development, leadership training, and just a whole suite of solutions to help businesses reach better goals around customer management. Dr. Ritz is globally recognized for the workshops and the programs that she delivers on all of these different topics, but her ultimate goal really is to empower business leaders to better manage their most valuable assets, being their customers. And then also representing our very own Training and Professional Development Committee, we have Angela Blatt. So Angela is a customer relations consultant, but she's better known as the customer experience queen. So for all of my business owners who might be online with us today, Guys, if you are concerned that you're losing customers, you may be losing sales in your business right now because you do not consistently deliver a high level of customer service experiences or just customer loyalty programs, then you absolutely need to listen to everything that Angela is going to say, because this again is her area of expertise. So with all of that, Dr. Ritz, Angela, I'm turning the audience over to you.
Thanks so much, Jarvis. Hey, everybody. We are so excited to have you here this morning. Thank you for joining us. We're going to dive right in. Dr. Mary Ritz is going to share her screen, and she's going to start us off this morning. And you'll see she and I will kind of tag team and go throughout this whole presentation with you. But we've got a lot of great information to share with you. So we're going to go ahead and let's go ahead and get started.
Wonderful, wonderful.
There we go. Okay, Dr. Mary.
Hello, ABC members. How are you this morning or this afternoon now? We're excited to be here. Angela and I have been working in the background. You know, customer service, customer experience, customer centricity is a wide topic. And we were like, wow, what should we include? What should we include? And therefore we said, you know what, let's actually help our counterparts, our colleagues in learning how to attract and retain customers and how they can leverage that to maximize profits and even revenues. So for today's topic, we're going to focus on three main areas. I will focus on number one, the customer acquisition and attraction. And Angela will take it on to introduce us to customer retention strategies and customer loyalty programs. If we have time, I'll come back in and introduce you to the Net Promoter Scorecard. If you were on a call on Tuesday, Dr. Stevens, I remember, highlighted what a Net Promoter Scorecard was. This really primarily speaks to that as well. But if there's time, we'll add that in. So this is our menu for you for today. I would love to hear from you in the chat. What are you expecting? What is the one thing that you said, I'm going to register? I would love to understand this about customer attraction and about customer retention. So you can just respond in the chat, and Jarvis, you can just help us read those responses as you see fit.
Right, fantastic.
What is the one thing that you're expecting today?
See, Joe says he wants to keep learning. Aaron says how to implement this within her non-emergency medical transportation company. See, we got
Very good.
2 replies so far.
Okay, very good, very good. You're in the right place because the presentation is going to answer those questions for you. But before we unpack it, let's just understand the business context. And we're talking primarily after the pandemic. We live in a world that we call the VUCA, which means it's very volatile, it's uncertain, it's quite chaotic, and quite complex, and it's very ambiguous. That's the world that we live in. We are living in what we call very experimental, the workforce, retention and churning, the customer. All these things are what we are faced with as business owners. And our whole idea is to navigate that so that we continue to sustain our businesses. Competition, you know that we're all fighting. I mean, we're now competing with people at a global level. I mean, just to look at the coaching industry alone, in the last 3 months, it has boomed. You'll meet an Angela, you'll meet a Mary, you'll meet somebody else who is doing exactly what you're doing. So what makes you different? Those are some of the questions that we're asking. But what's the most important part to understand about the state of leadership of the world's business is the customer expectations and their behaviors have really changed. Everything is now done online. Amazon's quick deliveries become the benchmark, so to speak. Customer expectations are really, really high. They're looking for excellent customer service and customer experience. And that's the world that we're in, so to speak. And did you know that about 96% of consumers now don't trust brands? So if you know that statistic, what does that mean for you as a business owner? Did you also know that 74% of consumers now don't go back if they find interacting or engaging with a brand difficult? They don't go back. And then about 65% want faster and better customer service. So let's think about it for a minute, ABC. Those statistics are an opportunity for you and I to think creatively on how we can play on the market, so to speak. So with that said now, let's start to dive in. By way of introduction, I just want to bring this context. There are primarily two business models. There are many others, but primarily there are two business models. The first one is product-centric. You'll see that almost 85% of organizations are product-centric. So what are these organizations? These are organizations that organize their businesses around their products and services. They take what we call an inside-out perspective, so to speak. In other words, they're driven by their innovation, they're driven by their products, they're driven by the short term, they're about maximizing profitability. And this business model works quite well. If you want to look at it, an example of those organizations are Walmart, Target. And I want to give you another example, Bed Bath & Beyond. But we know now what has happened to them. So though they perform very well, it's not sustainable because anybody can come and differentiate on product and services. So product and services is not the desired outcome. It's a means to the end. So if we as product owners or organizations organize our businesses around product centricity, yes, we'll benefit in terms of revenues and profitability. But how sustainable is that? Look at Blockbuster. Look at BlackBerry. Those are your typical examples of a product-centric organization. On the right-hand side, you'll see that we're talking about customer centricity organizations. These ones here arrange their businesses around the customer, but not any customer. They look at the 20% that give them 80% of their revenue and profitability. So their ecosystem from end to end, before they make decisions, they start to ask, how does that impact the customer? For an example, can you think of some of those? I would like to hear from you in the chat because I've spoken for a while. Who do you think is customer-centric? Who gives you an entire experience from HR, systems, customer experience itself, culture? Who do you think is customer-centric? In the chat, please help us, Javid.
So we have a Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A's coming up a couple of times.
Sure.
Let's see, I took my kids on a vacation to Legoland earlier this summer. I was really impressed with that entire experience. Let's see, we have Home Depot, CFA, Target, Amazon.
Okay.
From Dr. Bing, Rose says Publix, Tracy says Ritz-Carlton.
Sure. Okay. All those are great examples, but if you and I were having coffee, we would have to debate on some of those. So Chick-fil-A is a product-centric organization that provides excellent customer experience and good customer service. So let's dive deeper into it. I tend to agree with Amazon. I tend to agree with the Ritz-Carlton. I will. So a product-centric and a customer-centric organization, both of them will deliver on great customer service and customer experience. They will. That's why we think Target and Publix are customer-centric. But really what they are product-centric that give you great customer service and customer experience. The main difference is that a customer-centric organization will give you consistently. It's not a bypass. It's not a mistake. It's a consistent, so to speak. And they will make 60% more in revenue. I'm going to leave most of that to for for Angela to talk to us later about the difference between customer service and customer experience. My whole persuasion for us as business owners is to think customer-centric and to think of it not as a destination, but to think of it as a journey, and you start to build your big building blocks. The reason I persuade organizations, small and big, is that in customer-centricity organizations, your loyalty is guaranteed, so to speak, is more guaranteed. Your retention is higher, your revenue is higher, and your competition, you kind of like just swipe them out. Look at what Amazon has done. It's taken out Bed and Bath and Beyond out of business, okay? So I'm gonna leave Angela to do the next one.
All right, so that was excellent, Dr. Mary. One of the things I liked is she said it was a consistent thing. It's something, being customer centric is consistent. And one of the things that the more I do this consulting, the more I realize that when people say customer service, a lot of times what they really mean is customer experience. So I want you to think about this. When you go to Publix versus say, let's just say Kroger, comparing the two. A lot of times people say, oh, the customer service at Publix is amazing, right? And when I say, well, what do you mean by that? Well, you know, I like how it's so bright when you walk in. The lighting is so bright. There's very rarely anybody in the aisles stocking the shelves while you're shopping during the day. If you ask someone for help, they don't just point to a particular aisle, they walk you to the aisle. And the aisles are nice and clear. All of the products are stocked. And if it's not stocked, there's a little sign saying, we apologize. So when they describe those things to me, I say, okay, so how do you feel when you're in Publix? And they say, well, I feel like they really pay attention to me. They really want me to have a good experience in the store. So as you can see, they talked about the experience. They didn't really talk about customer service per se. So I think overall, when people are talking about, they say Delta Airlines has great customer service. Most people say that. There are some one-offs where things aren't necessarily great, but overall, you can say Delta Airlines has decent customer service. But how many times have you really had to call the customer service department of Delta Airlines or Publix or one of any other company? You know, I think most people are talking about the overall experience when they talk about customer service. So the difference between customer service and customer experience is this. Customer service tends to be reactive. It is what we do when we address issues and answer questions for our customers. So when you go to Publix and you say, where's the ketchup? And they walk you to the aisle and show you the ketchup, that is a form of customer service because it's reactive. It's a reaction to something that you asked or you needed. Customer service is also usually a department within a company. So Publix pretty much, I'm sure they have a customer service department. They usually have that counter where you can go and return things, or if you have an issue, you can go and talk to a manager. So it's usually a department, and it has a direct effect on the overall customer experience. Now, the difference between that and customer experience is that customer experience is proactive. It's something that you plan. It is something that you sit down and you say, how do I want my customers to feel when they find out about my company? When they first find out about my company, how do I want them to feel? And then when they find out about my company, what do I want to do to make them feel the way I want them to feel? If I want them to feel like, this is an interesting company, let me find out more information about it. What am I going to do to make them want to do that? And then once they find out more information about my company, how do I want them to feel then? Do I want them to feel like, hey, I really want to do business with this company? And what am I going to do that? That is the whole customer journey that I'm talking about, as far as figuring out how to get them attracted to your business, how to get them to want to use your business, and how you want them to feel each step of the way. So it's very proactive. It's a plan that you put together when it comes to the overall experience. It also reflects the entire company. It's not just the customer service department. It is the sales department. It's the marketing department, product development. Even if you have, let's say you have a product-based company and you have a department that puts the product in the box and ships it. They may not have a customer facing role, but they do have a role in customer experience. Because if they just throw the product in the box and the customer gets it and it's broken or it's crumpled up, that's not a good customer experience. So every department in the entire company has a role in customer experience, and that does include customer service. So how do you find those customers and attract those customers that are going to be the ones that are more loyal to your business? Because if you get this right, if you get a good mix of the good customer service and the great customer experience, and you do that well consistently, like say a Ritz-Carlton or maybe a Chick-fil-A, you have people that will continuously come to you. And that's the goal. My goal is to help my clients make a lot of money without spending as much money on marketing and ads. And one of the ways to do that is to increase the loyalty and retention of your customers so that they can spend more money with you and tell more people about you. But first, you got to attract the right customers. And so Dr. Mary is going to talk to you about attracting those right customers.
Yeah, sure. And Angela, before I take on, I know that you have some great stats that you wanted to share with us, just to hone in on the importance of this part.
Right. Thank you for that. Okay. So yes. So customer loyalty and retention, again, is one of the fastest ways that you're going to reach your revenue goals without having to spend more money on ads and marketing. And let's look at bullet number 2. It shows that studies show that it can cost 5 to 25 times more to acquire a new customer than to retain an existing one. So again, my goal is to help you make more money through retention and loyalty and referrals, and not have to spend as much money on acquiring new customers, right? Also, about half of a company's revenue is from approximately only 8% of your most loyal customers. I want you to think about that. So let's think about a company like, say, Amazon, for instance. Amazon has Amazon Prime members, and I am guilty. You can put in the chat. I don't want to feel alone. I know there's a lot of us that spend a lot of money on Amazon, but there's probably a small subset of us that shop from Amazon pretty much weekly, right? That's a small set of your loyal customers that are going to drive that company's revenue. And then also, if you retain existing customers, they can increase your overall profitability by 25 to 95%. And what I want you to think about is it's not just those customers themselves that are spending the money with you, it's how many people they tell. If the experience is so good, they're going to tell a lot of people. And in the days of social media, where people are always on social media talking about the great experience they had or the horrible experience they had, then there's no telling how many people are going to come to you because of you retaining your existing customers and giving them an awesome experience. So now I think it's time for Dr. Mary to talk to you about the customer acquisition.
Sure. Thank you so much, Angela. Wow. Beautiful, beautiful. So ABC family, you've had some thoughts there. So the first question that I'd like to pose to you, are you product centric or are you customer centric? Nothing. The only thing is understanding where you are and building towards it. As a result, what kind of customer service and what kind of customer experience are you delivering? And then does it make business sense for you to actually understand who to attract and who to acquire so that you can maximize your profits? And remember, there are good profits and there are bad profits. So the good profits are, we really want to charge, we want to price in a way that brings value to the customer. So we're talking about triple bottom line, so to speak. So we want these very good profits and revenue making mechanisms versus the bad mechanism where people would just double charge people for the sake of doing it. Okay. All right. So let's jump into the first lever of this. Before we get to loyalty, before we get into retention, before we even get into delivering the customer service and the customer experience, one thing we want to make sure is we want to acquire and attract the right customer. But before I move on, I'd like to ask you some questions. What is the difference between attracting a customer and acquiring a customer, right? I'm not going to pause. I'm going to go through it. You can pause and just chat and think about it. But I'm gonna give you some highlights. What attracted you to your spouse? What are those things that attracted you to him? What attracted you to the house that you bought and the neighborhood that you live in? How about the college that you went to? What attracted you to that? Then what were the strategies that you put in place to acquire, quote unquote, to acquire the spouse? What did you do? What did you do to make sure that you were enrolled in the school? So those are the differences, so to speak. So the first thing that we want to do is to make sure that we actually acquire first. We want to attract first. We want to attract the right customer. Remember, in the customer centricity world, we say not all customers are equal. 20% of your customers give you 80% of your value. So as a business owner, the question that you need to ask yourself is, how do I attract this 20% so that they can influence even the 80% of those ones that I need less of? But it does not mean that you neglect the other 80%. It just means that you build your business around the 20%. So let's dive a little bit deeper. I'm going to start on acquisition. I would have started on attraction because you want to attract first. There's a reason I did that. So let's first understand the acquisition, right? We want to acquire the right customer. The first step that we would do as business owners is to identify, and we want to get to know who they are, this right customer. So this is an example of how you would go on about it as a business person. Who are the right customers that I want to engage with, that I want to do business with? On the right, on the far left-hand side, you will see that there's a category. So you want to understand their personal data. Who are they? Age, race, preferences, occupation, emotions, their expectations and opinions. And I've given you some questions there that you can ask to unpack and mine the data. Personal data, who are they? Age, gender, marital status, when, how, and what do they do under buying habits? So you want to understand right now. So I'm going to pause, business owners. How well do you understand your target audience? Have you taken the time to actually unpack their behaviors, their emotions, and their expectations, even their opinions, so to speak? Once you understand who these people are and you've identified them, how then do you acquire them? How do you make sure that you double, you go and find more of them, and how do you leverage them off? Okay, so that's number one. The second part is now helping you actually create a persona, right? In the chat, what is a persona? For those marketing gurus, please show off your skills. Let us know, what is a persona for your brand? I'm gonna wait for that answer, Jarvis.
Great. Let's see what we get. And Dr. Rich, while we wait for that, you did have a couple of responses earlier around if folks were customer centric. Looks like many of our folks online are customer centric.
Okay, very good, very good. Glad to hear that. Glad to
All
hear
right.
that. Okay.
So we have some folks coming in. Tia says target audience. Dr. Thimby says the avatar. Janelle, who has been on fire with a lot of her posts in the chat, says the character or the avatar.
Exactly. Very good. I like that. Yeah. So in that one, you literally say persona, you describe that person. So in my example, I've got this guy called Emmanuel Wilson. So Emmanuel Wilson's personal background is that he's a financial analyst. He lives in Greensboro. He's married. He's thriving to do an MBA. His behaviors, I dive in and I understand what are his interests and hobbies and potential, of himself. What does he see himself? So my Emmanuel is really a driven professional. He plays golf. He's family oriented. He likes to go to the gym in the mornings. This is my typical person. So I begin to understand that, so that when I send out my messages to attract them or to bring them in, I target them. I target in the right places that they hang out with, the right places that they eat. The right messaging would determine how I attract them. I'll look at, what drives their behavior. Who are they? All right. Are they family oriented? What is their mindset, so to speak? Do they want to conquer the world? Why? Therefore, what kind of messaging and what kind of products should I put in front of them? Their influences, who influences their behavior? Look at it even from a generation perspective. So if you're targeting Generation X and Generation Y, who are they and what kind of messaging are they looking for? And what are the challenges that they're facing? You can tell, as we said, we're working now in a VUCA. There's a lot of political things that are going on right now. There's a lot of diversity and inclusion debates that are going on right now. How are they affecting how your persona will respond to your products and services? How will they respond to how you market your messages, so to speak? Okay, right. My question there for you, I always want to make this relevant for you. As a business owner, do you have this crystallized for you? Do you have this persona in your business, so to speak? Okay, something just to reflect on. I just want to read off some statistics here and just tap into the opportunity. A survey was done by PricewaterhouseCoopers that went to Generation Z, Generation Y, Generation X, and baby boomers. They were asked, 39% of Generation Z said they were more likely to try a new product. So do you have a new product that you want to try? Who is your target audience? 39% said they are likely. Generation Z. Generation Y said 35%. Generation X, 31%. And baby boomers said 19%. So when we get these kind of results and we start to mine data about our personas, about our target audience that we so aspire to acquire, we then change our products and services. That gives us some guarantee that if we attract the right people, retention is likely to be high. Loyalty is likely to be high. Okay. For the sake of time, I'm going to move on to the next one. The next slide really talks to how then do you attract them? Remember I said, how did you attract your spouse? How did the school that you went to attracted you? This is very paramount for us to understand as business owners. We have an opportunity here. What really attracts customers are two things. Is what we call, number one, value attraction, and number two, capabilities attraction. Value attraction is when people ask questions such as, what kind of values and purpose does your business stand for? So your mission statement, your values, your value proposition, all those things are ways that can start to attract your people. All right. So what benefits does the company provide in society? So community engagement. So people are no longer just leaning towards you maximizing your profit as a business owner. What are you doing in the community to impact schools and how people live? And then on the social attraction, what are we doing on the social media platforms? How are you engaging? And what is your purpose, so to speak? In other words, the people that you're going to attract are going to have something in common with you at a very deeper level, not just only on the service and customer experience. It's at the core of who they are. For an example, Apple. The people that are attracted by Apple is because they love great products that are slim and slick. The people that are attracted by Nike really believe that they can do it. It's about what Nike stands for, and then they join in forces, right? So that's number one. So us as business owners is on my website, what are my values on my website to attract those people? What's on my social media? What am I doing in the community so that I can actually attract people with purpose and meaning and touch them at the core of their lives? Then finally, capabilities. This is where we're talking about what customer insights do you have? Are you doing surveys? How often are you doing them? Do you understand the pain points? Do you understand how are you bringing in their voice, so to speak? And then when they finally come and engage with your product or your services, is it digitalized? What is the process of engaging with you? Do they feel pain or is it a seamless experience, so to speak? So it's just more than products. And then when it goes into product and services, is really what is the experience that you are deriving from that, okay? Any questions at this point before we move on to the next part?
And guys, if you have any questions at all, feel free to raise a hand and come on mic or drop it in the chat. I see we have Cheryl with a hand up.
Okay, thank you. Excellent presentation. Thank you so much. I'm kind of still at the avatar.
Yes.
So I've been writing some things down and I'm wondering how often should I have my business is new. And so I've created an intro letter, an introduction, to my business, and my avatars are going to be fellow business owners, nonprofits, event planners, executive administrators, things like that. So how often should I drip on them as far as the drip campaign? After I send the intro letter, when should I follow up or send more information without it being overwhelming or overpowering?
I truly believe that. Thanks a lot. I'm gonna answer that. That's my timer telling me that is my time. It's time for Angela. So I'm gonna answer this question and then pass it on to Angela. So it depends on what your strategy is, and every business will vary. One thing for sure is that you don't want to overwhelm your people, your customers. So for me, if I'm sending an email campaign for something, I always do it and I give them a week for them to respond. If I've not heard from them, then I follow up after that 1 week to say, where are we? And if I haven't heard from them, I'll give them another 2 to 3 weeks for me to go back and touch base. But that's also preferred. Other people will do quick ones, but I am very aware that I don't want to bombard my people. I don't want to overwhelm them. All right. And then I mix it up. It's either I'm going to do an email and then I'll do a text and then I'll do a phone call. So I mix up about the ways that I'm going to touch them, so to speak. Okay. Angela, if you want to add something there, and then from there you can take over.
No, I think you did a great job summarizing that. I think you're right, though. It does depend on your business. There are some product-based businesses that send out emails every day. Sometimes I get 2 emails a day. It just depends on what your business is and what it is that you're selling. But we're going to go right on into the customer retention and loyalty for the sake of time. I think we have about 15, 20 minutes left. So if you could go to the next slide for me, Dr. Mary.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when you're looking at encouraging customer loyalty in your business, there are 3 main steps that I want you to pay attention to. One is you should definitely systemize and plan out your customer journey and that overall customer experience. I always suggest to my clients to actually secret shop your highest competitors. Who are your biggest competitors? Give them a call and find out. Just pretend like you're a customer and go through their customer journey and listen very intently to see how you can take what they do in their customer journey and improve on it for your customers. So plan it out. Number 2, be proactive instead of reactive with your customer service. As Black-owned businesses, we really do not have, unfortunately, we don't get the benefit of the doubt when we make a mistake. So when we make a mistake, people say we have bad customer service. They tried to work with a Black-owned company and, you know, I'm frustrated because they don't have good customer service. So what I encourage my clients to do is to be proactive, sit down and plan out how you're going to handle different customer situations. You should have policies and procedures in place, preferably before you start your business, but it's never too late to put those policies and procedures in place to go ahead and figure out how you're going to handle various customer situations, the good situations and the frustrating or disappointing situations. And then number 3, this is the one that we're going to focus on for this presentation, is implementing customer retention and loyalty programs. Okay, so Dr. Mary, if you can just go on to the next slide, we're going to talk about that. So there are a ton of customer retention and loyalty programs that you could put into place for your business. For the sake of this program, though, we're going to focus on the top 2, which are points-based programs and tiered loyalty programs. You can also do paid loyalty programs. Those are like the Sam's Club, the Costco's, and the value-based loyalty programs where you provide some type of value every time somebody purchases something. Say you give a kickback to a nonprofit. That's what a value-based loyalty program is, but we're going to talk about the points-based and the tiered today. So Dr. Mary, next slide. All right, before we talk about it though, I do have some more statistics, and I love these statistics because it really does drive home the importance of loyalty and retention. Anybody in here have an e-commerce platform? Just let me know in the chat. I want to see who all has e-commerce. Actually, a lot of us do, whether we know it or not. If you've got a website, and even if you sell your services or you want people to see what it is that you do through your website, you have an e-commerce platform, right? So if you add a loyalty program to your e-commerce platform, it can increase your average order quantity or average order value by 319%. That is huge. And I'm going to show you how that actually works. It's worked on you before. You may not realize it, but it's worked on you before. And then 52% of American consumers say they will join a loyalty program of a brand that they make frequent purchases from. So like Target, for instance, if you shop at Target a lot, I know when you get ready to pay, they ask you, are you part of the Target? I can't think of the name of their program, but they ask you, are you a part of that program? And you can put your phone number in and get your points and all of that. So if you shop there often, why not join their loyalty program so that you can get the benefits of the program, right? And then also 65% of a brand's purchases come from repeat customers. Again, I want you to think about your repeat customers are going to tell people about your business, and those people are going to come and purchase as well. And that's the goal. We want that. We want them to be raving fans for your business, right? Next page for me. Next slide. Okay, this is one of my favorite parts because I love shopping. So one of the loyalty programs that I think you see quite a bit of are points-based. And we're going to talk about the Bath and Body Works one in a minute, but I don't know how many of you knew that there was a Square points-based program. If you knew that, let me know in the chat. So if you, just to give you an example, okay, so Stephanie knew, yes, she said that she knew that there was a Square points-based program. If you accept Square as a business owner, let's say you have a product-based business and you accept Square, you can go to squareup.com and you can find where you can set up a points-based program. People buy things from you, they get points. And you determine based off of however many points they accrue, what they can get for free or for a discounted rate. So I accept Square, and I'm a service-based company. So even service-based companies, if somebody can use your service or buy your product more than once, you can create a points-based program for your business to encourage them to keep shopping with you. Okay, next slide. Tiered, this is another favorite because I am a Marriott Bonvoy girl. I know I'm not alone. I'm a Marriott Bonvoy girl. I have a Marriott American Express. Every time I swipe that thing, I get points. And Marriott did a number on me because they got me wrapped up in this loyalty program. So one of the things I did not know until I was doing some research for this presentation is I didn't even realize how many levels Marriott had. There's silver, gold, platinum, titanium, and then ambassador. And in each of those levels, you get different things. The higher the level, the more things you get. The same with the Sephora rewards, right? But I'm not going to talk about Sephora. I'm gonna focus on this Marriott because I got to tell you the story. So the higher you go in the levels, the more you get late checkouts, you get a gift when you check in, you get room upgrades and all kinds of perks the higher your level. So what happens is you start looking for Marriott. Every time you travel, you say, I want to stay at a Marriott because I want to get more points and I want to get these, the free check-in or the late checkout or the gift that they give me when I check in. So I recently went to Panama on a vacation. I looked for a Marriott hotel because I'm using my Marriott American Express to make the reservation so I can get double points. And I stayed at a Marriott. It was a W hotel. And the first night there, they had music playing. They had a party and they had music playing and I couldn't sleep. And I went downstairs, I complained about it. They gave me, I'm a Gold Elite member of Marriott Bonvoy. So they gave me, number one, they turned the music down, but they also moved us to another room across on the other side of the hotel, gave me free buffet breakfast for my whole stay and free drinks for cocktail hour, for happy hour every day. Okay. So what did I do? I said, oh, this is, me being the customer experience queen. They didn't know that, of course, but me, I evaluate customer service everywhere I go. So I get on Facebook and I tell all my friends about the W Hotel in Panama. And now I want to stay more at the W Hotel. So all of those things encourage loyalty, retention, referrals, which is what I did by telling all my friends about the W Hotel in Panama, right? Okay, Dr. Mary, let's go to the next slide. So this is a fun slide, all right? This is actually a true story. I love Bath and Body Works. I am a part of their loyalty program. Anybody else get candles and part of the loyalty program with Bath and Body Works? Love the lotion, that's me, okay? So I am part of their loyalty program. This morning, I woke up and on my phone, there was a notification that their 3-wick candles are $12.95 today. So if you didn't know that and you love their candles, you might want to go buy some, right? See, this is a loyal customer telling people to go buy candles from Bath and Body Works. So typically, Dr. Mary, click the first one for me. Typically, my average order value is $50. That's normally what I tend to spend at Bath and Body Works. I limit myself, $50. But one day they sent me a coupon and it said you get 25% off your total purchase, and it expired like the next day, right? I had it on my desk, forgot about it, saw it, was like, oh, it expires. I got to use this coupon. So I go online and I get my $50 worth of stuff, but I got 25% off, right? So now I'm like, well, I can spend more money. So Dr. Mary, next one. I increased my order to $100 because I had my 25% off coupon, which brought my total to $75, right? So I get ready to check out, Dr. Mary, next. And they pop up and it says, if you spend $100, you get free shipping. Well, I'm already at 75. What's another $25, right? Just to get free shipping. Because if I'm going to spend $8 for shipping, I'd rather that $8 go towards another candle. That's my thought process, right? So Dr. Mary, next. I increased my order to $140, used my 25% off coupon, which brought it down to $105, which made me eligible for the free shipping. But now look at what happened. My average order value doubled. All because I'm part of the loyalty program where they sent me the coupon and I got I get the little messages in the morning telling me the candles are on sale. This is me increasing my average order value by double. Okay. Then I called up all my friends and I'm like, girl, did you get your coupon? You need to go on Bath and Body Works website. And she went on there and she spent $100 because she had her coupon on the whole thing. So now because of me, they made an additional $100. And now my customer lifetime value is it's astronomical, right? Because we don't know how many people she called and so on and so forth. So as you can see, these loyalty programs, if you don't have a loyalty program, if you have a service that people can use over and over, if you have a product or products that people can purchase from you more than once, you should have a loyalty program in place to increase retention, which will increase your revenue and increase the person's loyalty. It's cyclical. It increases their loyalty, which then increases their referrals, and so on and so forth. Okay, so let's see, where are we next? I want to make sure.
Angela, you got some great comments in the chat.
Oh.
Dr. Taranza says that you are their ideal customer, and Shirley says they need to put you on as an affiliate. But we have Annette. She has a question for you as well.
Sure.
Okay, so this has been excellent. I really have enjoyed you and Dr. Mary. It's really making me want to deepen my customer experience. I've gotten a lot of ideas as I've been listening to you all speak. So I have a question regarding customer loyalty, because I'm a professional service businesses and I work with a lot of large corporations, and we're really right now an aggressive sale and marketing campaign post-COVID, sort of rebuilding. So my question to you is, do you have any experience with, because I'm still learning about customer loyalty in this corporate space around things like, for example, what you've been talking about, it doesn't really work in our industry, but things like credit proposals, rebates, commercial non-competes, discounts, those kind of things is what works in the corporate management consulting environment. And I was just wondering if you have any insights and experience around those.
Actually, I don't. Most of my clients are small businesses that are more direct to consumer businesses, or B2B, but not B to corporate.
Okay.
So I have not had experience on that level, but you and I can talk later. I can actually give you a link to my calendar and we can sit down and talk more, because I'd like to understand more about the services you provide. I think I might be better able to help you a little bit better if I get that information from you, but we can't do that during the program, but we can talk later.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very good. So Jarvis, I'm looking at our time. And the Net Promoter would require some time at least, and I don't want to jump into it and do it injustice. I'd rather we leave time for questions if that's how you want to go, or I can do it, but it won't be elaborate enough. This is like a measurement for your loyalty. Yeah. I'd rather maybe even people just go and start researching it for the next meeting that we meet. It's up to you, Jarvis.
All right, well, let me highlight first, Dr. Mary, Angela, amazing information. Just like Annette said, and all the great comments, I'm over here taking my notes as well, because I know I can, add a lot of this into my business. Would love to open it up for a few minutes of Q&A just in the last 5 minutes or so we have left. And to everyone online with us, if you all, find a lot of value in today's conversation, we like to get any feedback, but if we want to leverage this as our next in-person workshop, if Dr. Mary and Angela are open to that, we're looking at September, October for, maybe our next in-person workshop, and it's a chance to dig a little bit deeper. So just want to keep that open as a potential option, but would love to get a couple of minutes of Q&A while we still have Dr. Mary and Angela's expertise leading us. Emmanuel, this is going to be recorded. I'll check with Melvin to see exactly where it'll be published at, but the event is definitely recorded. Sorry, I'm going through the chats to make sure I didn't miss anything. Janelle, this group, we do our virtual workshops every third Thursdays at 11:30. And then for our in-person events, we just plan those, at least once per quarter. So we'll have that posted very soon for the next in-person. A lot of great feedback, Dr. Mary, Angela, on all the information that you two shared today, but no questions. So if there aren't any questions, then we'll slowly push towards wrapping up, or I got a couple of questions on my end. I can maybe throw one or two your way if there are no questions from the audience here.
I have a question.
Oh, yes, please, Joe.
Hey, thank you, Dr. Ritz, and thank you, Angela. I appreciate the information. How do you guys feel about the implementation of AI with business? I'm big on AI. I'm a software engineer, so what I've been doing is building these systems to implement with businesses on the AI side. I just wanted to get your outlook because I help our community, right? People that look like me a lot, right? And I tell everybody like it's always good to have a good nerd on the team, you know. So I just wanted to get some of your opinions on how you feel about AI and business.
I think there's definitely a place for it. When it comes to customer experience and customer service, Generation Z grew up in this world where everything is pretty much digital. So they're used to having that chat feature on websites where they can chat with someone, and they tend to like that. Whereas Generation X and our parents and grandparents would prefer to be on the phone with someone. I don't think that customer service will fully be replaced by AI because AI doesn't have the empathy that a human does. So I think there's a place for you to use AI in customer service, but a human needs to be able to edit some of the things, because I've used ChatGPT and I look at the way that it answers some of the questions and I'm like, this is not the way a human would speak. And there's no empathy necessarily behind it. Even if you ask ChatGPT to add empathy, it's just kind of hard for it to do it because it's a computer, it's not a human. So I think as things progress, it's going to be interesting to see if it gets more intelligent around the empathy part. But right now, I don't see it necessarily replacing customer service. I do see where it can help, but I think we still need humans to handle that part of it.
And Joe, just to add to that as well, what Angela has said, I would say where I see it playing more is when you're designing the business model. So Angela is talking about the end result of that in the customer service, when people actually experiencing the customer service or the customer experience, then, but as a business architect, when you're building your business, when you are making sure that HR is connected with customer service, is connected with the board ways of making, that's where you're going to leverage that off. So though I'm for it, you can't be customer centric, you can't be customer experience focused if you don't have AI. Though obviously we have to understand the pros and cons of it, but it's a place to play in. Joe.
Okay, all right, cool. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I appreciate it.
Awesome question, Joe. And I loved exactly what you said. Everybody needs a nerd on their team. So I love the feedback, and I hope, you know, Joe still keep pushing, man, because this is a wave of the future.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
really appreciate the question.
I appreciate it, man. Because I built something and I was able to take 3 of my employees off of appointment setting, because that's what they did for 6 hours a day was appointment setting, right? So I was able to build a system to take them off of appointment setting, and the AI does all of that up until a real person steps in, you know? So I appreciate it. And listen, thank you, Angela. Thank you, Dr. Ritz. And I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you.
All right. And everybody, I see we had 2 more hands up, but unfortunately we are right there at time. Let me ask Angela, Dr. Mary, if you all could go ahead and post maybe your contact information. I would love for any and all of our folks online with us today to please reach out with any other questions, or if there's anything that just went unanswered or unaddressed, please, again, you got literal experts online with you today leading this conversation. With positive feedback, again, we're happy to talk about turning this into our next in-person workshop as well. If you all are not familiar, right there in Zoom under the chat, you should be able to save the conversation so you can get all of the different posts that have come through the chat, so you can stay connected with each other. If you are not a member of our Atlanta Black Chambers, definitely stay connected, but consider becoming a member. That way you have access to leaders like Dr. Mary Ritz and Angela Black on a very, very routine basis. But Guys, I know we're right there at time. I want to respect your time and everything you're giving us today. Mary, Angela, thank you both so much again for your leadership and expertise that you shared with us today. Really appreciate you two.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you very
It was a pleasure.
much, everybody. Thanks, Jarvis.
Yes,
Have a
ma'am.
good day.
Thanks. Take care, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.